Day 13, the cure for the Terminators, the time map for 2024, off to 2028. So over here, there's a bunch of different things. Some of them are taken from a website called futuretimeline.net, which has been pretty accurate so far. Other ones were projection time maps of leaked information from the Cabal's plan for us. And so I was able to actually use that because there was a time wave involved, and the time wave directly correlated to the solar cycle. And so I was actually able to map which parts of that time wave correlate to which parts of which years. And so I was able to, I don't have this one yet, but I'm gonna have to transcode some more stuff. From what I can gather, the big takeaway here is that there's going to be these two critical times. See these little warning triangles, and the first one's going to be this. There was an astrologer who figured out that this solar eclipse and this time in between has a high probability of religious extremism for 3D folks on Earth, and that might actually spark open this thing that is absolutely was one of the things that was predicted to occur or to be projected for this year. That might not be the case. We'll find out. I hope that the good guys figured out how to cancel that. So hopefully that's canceled. But either way, if that doesn't cause the extended lockdown, something will. I'll keep trying to do the mapping, but that's something that's very probable. And interesting that they call it that number. The 10 city crackdowns have already begun. They technically started in 2023, actually. I remember how, they've been cracking down on them before, but the level of crackdown is going to be a lot more intense. The sanctuary cities have already manifested, and so now we're going to see during this year the sanctuary city issue continue to exponentially get worse as we draw more and more and more people into those zones within the cities. And that'll eventually peak into what's called the Bell Riots, which were predicted and what's going to happen is going to be some sort of martyr assassination. That's what the prediction was, that causes the actual Bell Riots, and it's related to the sanctuary city. So there's a person who leads this social movement to basically say we need better conditions, we need something much better than what's going on in the sanctuary cities. We can do this, and they all follow him, and basically he gets killed, and that sparks off the Bell Riots, which then set aflame a multi-month riot scenario across the world. It starts in San Francisco. Disclaimer: that's just a projection from Star Trek. So it's just science fiction. So this is science fiction. So it's just fictional. It's all fiction. It's a story. So apparently there's also expected to be gun restriction protests, and that's most likely going to be related to this, whatever this is. And so we're going to have that. We're going to get this Batman Beyond style TV news broadcaster AI. And that's interesting, because that's actually going to be the kill shot for the downfall of the mainstream media, the collapse of the mainstream media that occurs here. So as this technology advents, the mainstream media basically gets blasted away and changed into something new. If the Bell Riot scenario does occur and that doesn't get canceled, and that would be nice to be canceled, to be honest. I would like that to get canceled, but regardless, that would manifest into rebels. Those folks would eventually upgrade to rebels, and then eventually we'd probably start seeing the advent of a rebel alliance during the global civilian crackdowns that would occur at this point. So good luck us on that front. It's also predicted that this is going to be the time where the AI-controlled market crash thing was supposed to happen. And so this was where this was located on the time wave when I was looking at it. And apparently they're going to flag these folks as these folks, when in reality, these folks are actually not these folks, and these folks are the people who are doing this. And so good luck on that front. Woof, woof, woof. And let's see, what else we got? Oh, duh. Okay, so A part of what's going on here is that there's a major geopolitical shift across the entire world. 70 plus elections globally are occurring, and we're going to see, there's a much longer list here, but we're going to see all kinds of geopolitical changes, and that's going to change what every nation's opinion is about what's going on globally. If you've been paying attention to the main geopolitical war issue, then you know what kind of shifts that might influence. My objective here for this entire time map is actually to figure out how can I get a global defense initiative set up with the UN for operating a zone operations command. And what that is, it's basically, hold on. Yeah, here's my road trip. So it's ZOCOM operates as a United Nations sanctioned transnational non-governmental organization, a TNGO, and PMC. Task Force. It is a task force to address global threats related to pollution, climate change, radiation, toxicity, contamination, biohazards, environmental disasters, and the collateral damage caused by warfare. We're going to need something like ZOCOM by 2025 because the threat of bioterrorism is going to be a huge issue by this 2025 marker point. And over here on the timeline in the further points, I expect that by this point, by this flashpoint event, whatever this is, I'm going to be in, I personally am going to have to be operating in some sort of ZOCOM level capacity. And I would have to have like years of experience already doing that, setting it up, getting all the things ready for that to occur for myself and for everyone else. And ZOCOM would be the best option that I can think of for being a operation that could actually support a project like creating a cure for the terminators. I think they would be an excellent candidate because that is absolutely a global crisis, a cyber crisis, a contamination, a biohazard of our cyber system, because it's like the toxicity of like bad information, corrupted information combined with viruses and all this hacking stuff. And I mean, it's just, that sounds like something that would be a significant issue. So that's what I want to do. ZOCOM would operate with a type of global space force, and I have some predictions where I think that this GDSS Philadelphia would probably be declared. Either it already exists or it starts construction between 2025 and 2030. And it's basically a global military space command station. And so it's the Global Defense Initiative Space Station, Command Space Station. And so I suspect that we might get some D-class happening in this year. Not this year, but like the next one. And we'll see. That's like a rough prediction. I would like it if that's true. That's really what I'm trying to say there. But check this out. There's a couple of things that ZOCOM would be able to get onto. We got this solid waste is reaching critical levels. I mean, that's toxicity issues combined with this bioterrorism. This is the big one that we could really make the case for it. This ban on fossil fuels would result in a lot of need for changes, and ZOCOM can operate that. There's going to be a lot of crises like the Yemen crisis climax. And a lot of also this is going to be driven by this war on cash, kicked off to the war on Bitcoin. And that would be directly related to the global economic collapse, triggered by the AI-controlled market crash here in 2024, resulting in digital currency mass adoption in the social credit system when blockchain goes mainstream, and the US dollar loses world reserve status all in 2027. The severity of the rebel situation persists through multiple years and basically gets to this really bad state where it's no longer really about rebels and it's just kind of riots. And those riots manifest tank police in order to quell the rebellion that occurs as a climax. I wouldn't recommend being part of the Rebel Alliance at this year. And all of this revolves around the genetic revolution, which includes the lie versus the truth as D-Class continues. The synthetic human genome's completed, which brings it on.